You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. Greetings, 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 greetings. Happy Kwanzaa Day 4. Happy Kwanzaa Day 4 to all of you. I'm seriously apologizing for starting late as communicated, but honestly, I slept off. I slept off and I just got up now. And so, yeah, I know most of you might have been waiting for so long and thinking, is she still going to come live today? What is happening? Yeah, I overslept, my people. And, as you can see, it was such a nice sleep and nice afternoon or evening rest here. And I'm just getting up and wow, I looked at the time. I was like, wait a minute. I'm really like 1 hour late into the program for today. But of course, we have a very important Kwanzaa Day number 4 today, which has to do with cooperative and cooperative economics, like how we build collective wealth. And so, like I said yesterday, today is very, very important. Every other thing that we do as African community is people, if we don't talk about wealth, if we don't come together and put wealth, money, shishi together, we can talk all our lungs out. We can come together. We can be self-determined. We can do all the necessary packaging. But if money is not getting into these initiatives and this cooperative, we are going nowhere. So what do we want to share today? We want to share about, like I said, everything that we discuss on the Kwanzaa week and on the Pan-African Daily, all our presentations, is just a reminder of things that we had done before. Collective or cooperative economics is not strange to the African, not at all. But like my famous Reverend Chuck Matthews always said, nothing is wrong with you Africans, something happened to you. So all the lectures that we are dealing and treating with setting our goals into 2025, following the principles of Kwanzaa, the 7 days principle, each day after, taking the themes and breaking them, is actually a reminder of what our ancestors, what the great people of Africa had done, which you are an extension of them. So if they could do it at that time, you could do it even much better. So like I say, our topic today is going to be on cooperative economics. What is cooperative economics? Why are we talking about it in the first place? How did our ancestors, the great kingdoms and queendoms of Africa, existed through cooperative economics? What are the products of cooperative economics? What do you understand by that? Some people, when they talk about cooperative economics, they think exactly about the traditional corporations that we used to build back at home. And of course, it functioned. Those were samples of great economies that we built. But then what happened? What simply happened, exactly like we keep talking all the time, is something happened to us. The evil saw our economic, how we were striving, how we were thriving as a people, as a culture, as a kingdom, as a queendom. And they said, we want to be a part of this. And so we begin to see the setbacks of why, we are where we are today. So today I want to welcome all of you, and I'm waiting, just giving you a short time again for most of us to connect. Thank you. I see you are joining. Please make a to-do list every day to build discipline. Of course, that's we treated that on Kujijialma, uh, Kujijakula, which was self-determination. You remember. Ella Young, say hello, Dr. Tata. Happy Kwanzaa Day to you. My birthday anniversary. Oh, really? Oh my God, we're shouting out to you. So you are the king of collective cooperative economics. I think your energy goes around bringing wealth together. Eleona, that must be it. Hey, we're shouting out to you. We have a lot of birthday celebrants today, and they'll be joining us on the show, and we're going to be shouting them. Please, if today is your birthday, your anniversary, or any beautiful thing, family gathering, family meetings, or whatever thing you're celebrating today, or your sibling, or your children, or whoever you're celebrating, please drop it to us in the chat. We want to give you a shout out. We want to recognize you. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Thank you for joining. As you are coming in, please make sure we are not on TikTok. TikTok is very easy. Like you just tap the screen, and once you tap the screen, everybody should have been we would have been like 10,000, 20,000 right here. The algorithm with TikTok is crazy. But of course, we would still have to do, the 7-day Kwanzaa on our different multi platforms. Even right now, we're just streaming only on the two famous platforms that we have, which is really, really okay. It's so okay, right? So, the spirit of Ujamaa comes with wealth. Mm-hmm. You heard me. The spirit of the ancestors of Ujamaa, this African iconic Swahili word, which stands for building together, building wealth together. Whether it is a wealth of knowledge, whether it is a wealth of fiat currency, whether it is a wealth of people, building cooperative economics is what we're talking about today. And it is the ice on the cake that we've been preparing for all these days. Once we're going to ice that cake today, okay, then we will begin to see how purpose comes in tomorrow, and how fate concludes everything. But today is the key. So I hope you have your books. I hope you have your books. Happy day, Dr. Georgia. Thank you. I hope you have your notebooks to actually take down some key points, because today we're really going to talk about how we build cooperative economics. This is one of the things that we African people don't really bother about it, because once we are in our spirit of Omoja and Ubuntu, and we're self-sufficient, of course, we don't worry about that. But honestly speaking, I think anything that doesn't connect us spiritually, in the African spiritually, and with the basics or the principles of Ma'ad, we might go around, we might do every other thing, we might build a powerful economic and cooperatives and wealth, intergenerational wealth to live for our children and our children. If we don't have a spirituality meaning behind it, we're simply wasting our time. That is something that I want us to get it really clear. While we're talking about Ujamaa, the spirit of cooperative economics, today, on the 4th day of Kwanzaa, this principle stays unique. It is the same everywhere. It is the same everywhere. Okay, G Star, what are you saying here? Going to Africa is the way forward. You can see how the UK economic is collapsing and others, while the African evolution is evolving. Of course, G Star. We cannot disagree with that. Not just only UK, not just UK, but we do understand that because we're still in these communities, we have to take everybody with us. We have to educate one another. We have to empower one another. That's why even your work out there in the UK is still really important. You understand? There are people who don't know that they have to build wealth on the continent, even if we are not on the continent. That's the key. Whether we are evolving in our communities, what is the key? The key is everything we are building in terms of cooperative economics. Anything that comes together. That's why I said, first of all, take away this thing that it has to be only with shishi, fiat currency. Building the economy, first of all, is building the community together. Once the community stick together and you put your $1 together, you can build the whole world. It doesn't really take too much money. We have seen that the economy of fiat is in the hands of the white people who created their infrastructures on banking systems and stuff like that. You were not in that concept, an African. So it's difficult for us to get loans, credit, all these kind of things. But so building a community wealth, a cooperative economic wealth, where each and every individual comes in and bring in something small and put it into it. That's how we evolve as a community. We might not be so rich as we want, or it takes a step to go there, but the fulfillment and the substance that unite us is the basic, and the basic is our African spirituality. Anything that is not built on these principles of Ma'at, we know that is going to collapse. If you want to build wealth and that wealth is not going to empower your community, you got it wrong. If you want to build wealth and the kind of wealth that only you has to win and the others and your community is impoverished, that's not justice. If you want to build wealth and you are doing it by your own system and your own knowledge, like a one-way street, it's not a circle like the African circle and community a philosophy. You are doing it on your own. If there's no justice, no reciprocity, no balance, all these principles of Ma'at in the cooperative economics, you are failing. And that's why we choose other models. But if that wealth doesn't benefit the economy and the community that you are serving, you are on your own. And so today we really want to digest it, but like our opening of the scene to say, it all starts with the spirituality, with the purpose and the mission of collectiveness. If it doesn't save us, no, we can do any other thing. We can talk as much as we want. So I'm going to show us step by step how we already were already like that. We are created like that. We are people that collaborate together. But there are some tricks that the enemies or the opposite of us came and infiltrated us, and they begin to use this against us, and we were not paying attention to it. So we'll go right into it. So I salute all of you that are here. Efwa, thank you very much. Shabaka, thank you. Wade Nubbles, thank you for joining here. Every member of this community. Sister Lisbeth, I saw you already. Happy day for Kwanzaa people. Yes, the Kwanzaa people. Okay, so I want to salute all of you. Please invite your loved ones, share the links with them, tag them, send them WhatsApp messages in your groups, share the link with them to join us here, because today is very important, the 4th day of Kwanzaa. We have just 3 days left, and I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you so much. Of course, I have to thank you so much. We are pulling it. We are on day 4. Non-stop, even if we are tired, or like I said, we sleep off, but we are on day 4. We are pulling it. The good news is tomorrow I have to bring us a guest. Okay, I have to bring us our brother from Detroit, Ron Spears. The Detroiters are in the house all the time. We shout out to the Detroit. If you are watching me from Detroit, say One Africa. One Africa conference. Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to get our guest who's going to join us here on day 4 on purpose. Yeah. On purpose, and so that we can share his perspective with the mega project that he's been doing on the continent of Africa with his ministry. We all know Ron Spears as an author, a storyteller, poet, and a very influential brother in our community. So he's going to be our guest tomorrow on purpose. Okay, on NIA, the Kwanzaa principle number 5. Okay. So yes, this brother is gonna be with us. Let me see if I have the flyer. So let me just pull it out here so you can already see. This is brother Ron Spears. Like I said, we know him. He's a regular guest on Pan African Daily TV on talking poetry and stuff like that. So he's gonna share his inspiration on how we have to stay on purpose. Okay, how we have to stay on purpose. So this flyer is gonna be circulating tomorrow. So at least tomorrow we can relax, sit back, and listen from the perspective of Kwanzaa, day number 5. I'm sorry. So, and today again, we have a birthday guest here, the king of Antigua, the Buffalo Soldier, is celebrating today. Yes, brother Ian. This is the first couple that we had on Pan African Daily TV. He and the Queen, and we celebrated our first couple, black couple here on Pan African Daily. It was brother Jan Joseph of Antigua. Yes, Barbuda. So he's celebrating today, and we all wish you a happy, happy Earth Day, brother. And shine on and rise on and grand rising. And make sure you're keeping the Buffalo Soldier movement out there on track. So we celebrate you. Like I said, if you're celebrating today, hey, please just post it out. We're going to give you a shout out. Law one, greetings to the family. Thank you so very much. Okay, so I think we should be ready. If you're ready, I'm ready, and let's go into our presentation of today. All right, we're already so late, so let us just start. I'm bringing in the presentation. Happy Kwanzaa Day 4. And yes, Marshall, thank you. Welcome to the house. Today we're talking about cooperative economics. Like usual, I would just salute the house, of course. To lift up our libations and water as a symbol of our collective energy that unites us. And you understand the essence of the fluid mentality, the fluid energy in building wealth and building the community. It all starts with a natural element, a natural mineral from which all of us actually generated. And yes, we know about water, we know about carbon, which is black, which is one of the greatest of it. So yes, I bless this house, and I bless all those that are celebrating, and I bless you and your families. And I pray and I send the energy to open your spirit, your mind, to receive anything that we're going to share here as a collective, as we stand for one people, one solidarity, our heritage. And we know we're leaning on the many, many, many ancestors that went before us, and those that are still with us. So I share. We drink to the collective. Good. Wonderful, brother Yan. You are watching a Shaka. Shaka. I greet you. Happy Kwanzaa family. Brother Yan, we already celebrated and we gave you a shout out, and we will still continue throughout the show. Thank you so very much for your day. Yes. Wonderful. And everyone is celebrating here with you, brother Yan. Of course, happy birthday, King Joseph, sending you blessings and love. Anyone that has a message for brother Yan, please make sure you post it. And all those that are celebrating, I think we also have another celebrant here. Let me pull it up again. I saw you. Eleona is also celebrating with us today. Okay. These are the happy Kwanzaa people, the collective, the cooperative economic mindset people. All right. Okay, people. Let's get out into our topic and our presentation for today. Everything we do, we think about first. Yes, we think about the first fruit, which is the meaning of Kwanzaa. Okay, it stands for the first fruit. Whatever thing we are doing, whatever learnings we are doing, we come back to the essence of Kwanzaa, which is the first fruit. You're celebrating, you're bringing your first fruit. The church transformed it into like bringing your 10% of income. you know. But on Kwanzaa and African spirituality is bringing actually what you have to offer. So your first fruit can be your expertise, your skills, your talent, your purpose to serve your community. These are deep, deep stuffs. Like I used to tell you, we can interpret it in every other way. But if it doesn't connect and relate to our spirituality, we would just be grappling around the place and don't even know what our purpose is and our clear goals are. So, whatever we do, even on day 4, which is a collective economy, we are still going back to the basic of what connects us, the spirituality of Kwanzaa, which is the first fruit, like I said. And this first fruit can be your intelligence, your support for your community, your mission, your purpose on earth can be that. It must not be any food. Look at the purpose of food. Look at the purpose of bringing food, why it is represented, because of the role that food play in our life. So now when we talk about cooperative economics, it's the same thing like bringing our first fruit together, bringing our talents together, bringing our energy together as a collective to do what? To feed one another with. Do you get it? So the essence and the representation of food. Now you see, even in terms of spirituality, we said the last day, which is Imani, stands for faith. And this last day is the day that we bless the house, and we share the meal, we share this first fruit with each other. What is that actually? It is just spiritually the blessings that we're going to share to enter into the new year, or the lights that we open up, each one of us bringing the little lights together that form this collective. It is the same thing. So you can still put it in terms of money, like cooperative economics. You can still bring it in terms of fiat currency, and we all put it as a collective. And when we put it as a collective, what do? We think about it. What is our purpose? That's why today is collective economics, tomorrow is purpose. Yeah. So what is the purpose of this collective economy? And then on the last day, Imani, we share it. Like we divide it. I'm telling you, this is the concept of the African traditional banking system that we have in our villages today. That we come together, our mothers, our elders put their money into one single basket. In our tradition, or in our language, we call it Njangi. Okay. In the Western province of Cameroon, they call it Tontin. So we put this collective together, and this collective, we can share it like, if there is a child or something, there's a need in the community, they go back into that Njangi or that Tontin, they take it and they solve the problems in the community. That is exactly cooperative economics. Let me take it from the root, from the spirituality meaning. Because sometimes these big, big words we study in economics is just bamboozling our heads, and we begin to think that we're supposed to do some big, big thing. Reparations in Ghana is called susu. Yes, exactly. You can name it anyhow that you call it, right? So the collective power of Kwanzaa as the first fruit has to start with the spirituality that connects our cooperative economics together. That's the energy. That's the big picture you should never forget. When you think about Kwanzaa, think about the collective, whether it's in terms of wealth, knowledge, sharing, skills, talent. We have to bring all of them together. Cooperative economics just means bring everything on the table. And then let's begin to see how we distribute it to the benefit of the community. All right. We need to really break it down like that. Of course, we will still enter into the normal meaning, or the educational meaning of it. Now, I wanted to share some perspective of Kwanzaa 2024. I don't know whether it happens only to me or you have also noticed it. To be honest with you, this is the first time. Of course, I used to know about Kwanzaa, and we just posted once it was happening, but we never took the time to deeply integrate and sink and merge into this concept to be able to understand the dynamics, to understand the spirituality and the way forward. Kwanzaa 2024, I think if I rate it, I would say is the most celebrated, the most celebrated or the most African celebration that is happening right now. I'm telling you, like they literally tack me on this thing. Hey, come on, let me really come to this stage here and explain it to you. Even you have seen it, but probably you have not taken notice of it. Kwanzaa Celebration 2024 is everywhere on mega news platforms for the first time in history. Kwanzaa is posted, it is celebrated, be it on CNN, on Fox News, on BBC, for the first time, probably, maybe it was in the other days, on platforms, mega platforms, like you see this image, I told you, this image is from the image that is taken from Google. If you Google Kwanzaa celebration, this is what you get. And these are some of the times where we have never seen it. Okay. So what does that mean? What does this time actually mean for you and me? It is the time of the rising of the Aquarius, of the energy of a collective. It is this time. And you know the symbols and the sign, they are not celebrating us, make no mistake. But they don't have a choice because our ancestors are rising up and we are taking our place in this dimension. It is our right to reparations to everything. So don't think, let's not be fooled by the fact that they're posting on all these platforms. Whatever energy it is, we take it by force. It belongs to us. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm really like budging on it, but I just want to say, when I open up every platform, it was a Kwanzaa celebration, sharing light, pouring it, posting, and they're like, what? Of course. So sometimes, even in the collective economy, we have to understand the time and the period in which we are. I cannot disagree that we are going to share the soup Ujamaa on the 1st of January. Is going to be exceptional. It's just in 2 days. I remind you, Professor Baina will be sharing the link with us and we would be donating. That's going to be our project, that we open the light for the soup, the independent soup of Haiti. That's going to be our first Thanksgiving of the cooperative economics of the African people, because of the essence of this history, because of the essence of the liberation movement that started in Haiti, because of the essence of the women of Haiti, of the voices, the shearers of Haiti that stood up, and today we still have the physical presence of Professor Baina Bello. They won the Elizit Danto, and all these queens that are still standing up. So the 1st of January, as we say, the last day of Kwanzaa, which is Imani and stands for faith, opens up the last light while we enter into their Gregorian calendar. What are you going to give as a Thanksgiving? That is the first project that would determine how we work together as a collective. When the link would be shared here, I think probably tonight or tomorrow, we would share that. We would share, and everybody has to support in his own, her own way, whether it's a donation from the continent. I don't want to hear that it's only from the diaspora, from the continent. Whether it's your $1 in your own money, you have to support for us to prepare the soup Ujamaa, independent soup. It's not about the money, it's about the spirituality that is embedded behind it. Like I said, anything we say we're building the cooperative economy, if it is not based on spirituality, you can forget it. If you're not building something that goes on to contribute to the economy, to the community, you can forget. You're working on your own. That is not a concept of Kwanzaa. That's not a concept of Ma'at. That's not a concept of the spirituality of the African people. You're doing it on your own. So that is project number 1 that is going to open up. And I'm telling you, feed one, just give a bowl of soup to show that, to shine that light out there and see how your doors would open in 2025. I'm not a preacher on the pulpit in the churches that will tell you, oh, miracles and this will happen. It is watering the earth of the blessings that all of us have all come back to this dimension to show the purpose of a collective and the impact that this collective economics bring to our communities. We need to do it. We must do it to survive. We must do it as a symbol of solidarity and unity, as a symbol of the 12-12 oneness in our spirituality. We must do it. There's nobody that says I don't have, because that's the first challenge of the cooperative economics. When our ancestors were building all this massive from the Kemet onto where and the spaces where we are today, we have never heard in history that any one of them complained that I don't have. This idea of poverty in the Black community and us is a made thing, is crooked, just like every other system that has demonized our minds to make us feel, I don't have. Come on, just look at your surrounding. You always have. You have always have. You've always been fulfilled. You've always had what is necessary for you, for your survival. If not, you are not existing now. Even that economics of like, oh no, we have to feed our poor people, we have to do this, we have to share this. Yes, if the spirit tells you to do it, do it. But I've never seen anybody die apart from all this publicity going around. Something else must have triggered that. In any African country, community, no mother or father or family goes hunger, because it's a communal thing. The neighbors, the whole community is there. This is the only communities you go, they will give you food and give you food and give you food without charging anything. Show me any other community like that. So this aspect of us always thinking, no, we have to build wealth because money is what would survive us. Sure, we need money. Is money strange to you? Is it strange? Is it the first time you're hearing about money? When did money become a problem in your entire life? When did money become a reason for you not to thrive on your purpose? When did money ever limit you to shine for your people, for your environment, for your race, for your community, for your continent? When did money ever limited you? That is not the point. The point is how we collectively think about the purpose and the mission of this. Okay. So I just wanted to bring it to us that this is our time. Like I said, community, you see everywhere. Oh, yeah, let it be that we are dancing or we're jumping or you make caricatures of what. Don't bother about that. That is not your mission. Like I said, a lot of people go, oh no, the founder, he was a this, he was it. That's not your business. That is not your focus. Your focus is, what do we do with it? What do we do with what we have in hand now? And that's where we are going. Okay. So the perspective about Kwanzaa 2024 has been tremendously great. It is showing us the symbol, the substance, the resilience, all the voices that have been speaking, all the awakening, the empowerment, all the blood that have been shed, has been splitted. The ancestors are rising up, through us, through every single thing that we do as a collective, 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 as a collective. Cooperative just simply means collective. Cooperative just simply means collaborate, not even collaboration, togetherness. Let me just put it, every single word, because some of these big words that you just hear just traumatize you for nothing. It just simply means, togetherness. That's a simple fact. Translated in any of your languages, you go to it. So let's just go about some of the things, that cooperative economics bring to us. I want to take the example of the soup jamon, because like I said, we're not learning anything new. We're reminding us of the greatness of the things we are doing without knowing. The bigger things you keep doing every day and still thinking that you have to still do some big things. It is very okay, whatever thing you're doing. So building a collective economy, and we take it from the example of the Haiti movement and the Ujamaa of 1st January. I don't even know. I still have to ask Professor Baina, how did it become the 1st January? Because I don't know, Kwanzaa, how did it relate to that? So pooling of our resources together. Economic empowerment and wealth building. I already told you, it must not be in fiat currency. It could just be the skills that you bring. That's an economic empower, wealth building, sustainability for the African people. Just coming together and just being us and just promoting and backing one another. That's pulling our resources together. In the case of our project 2025, just begin to look now like I have, even if I don't have, at least there is nothing that is going to happen in any African community that is called the widow's mite. That concept doesn't thrive with us. Begin to put from your $5 to $10 to 20, whatever thing you're going to have. When the link will drop us, we're going to contribute to produce the Haiti independence soup. And remember, when we say the Haiti independence soup, doesn't mean that you're literally going to even prepare that soup. And when you share that soup, even with your household, it is the spirit of commitment. Okay. So pulling our resources together, and these resources, I don't want to use some of these terms, but create jobs in our communities, and we remain in world sustaination, or we return the world from generation to generation. I'm just going to run down this because this is the basic concept, how we relate to cooperative economics, in an academic point of view. But we would have to break it down from a spiritual point of view. Okay. So building cooperative economics is just like reducing economic disparities. It means, it gives us access to capital, and we bridge the inequalities between the imbalances, of course, like supporting our communities, being there for the marginalized or the less privileged, sharing what we have brought together, like this first fruit, to be able to distribute it among ourselves, so that nobody is left less. This idea of upper class, lower class, down class, poverty countries, rich countries, economic thriving countries, and this is all a mess. In the African solidarity and principle of the world, everybody is equal. There's equality, there is balance, there's enough for everyone. And we choose, we have choices. And we always make choices. So that lack and abundance, and apart from what happened to us, nothing else matters. Okay, we're taking it from the concept of ourselves. So we build when we come together, we put our priorities together, we set our goals, and we distribute among ourselves. That's just the way it is. Strengthening community bonds among us. That's just the African philosophy of Ubuntu, of spirituality, of solidarity. I am because you are because I go to the villages, the neighborhoods, how we share children, how we share husbands, how we share everything, property. It never had been a problem until the enemy knocked at your doors and begin to make it a problem. Okay, so mutual support for one another is something that we live and breathe on as African people. It's nothing new. Everything that we're just talking here is not teaching anybody something that you don't already know, something that we practically do it every day on daily basis. I mean, it's a cup of tea. You wake up every morning, you greet your neighbor, you ask how the cattle are doing, how the children are doing, how the community is doing. It's a normal daily breakfast, meal, afternoon, every day in us. It's just as normal as it is. Coming together, when we say we come together in solidarity, we eat together, we share together. It's just a normal thing. How does it becomes like something that we have to go to school and spend years upon years and invest in that business that will never pay back, and begin to think that now we know what? You're just doing the same repetition every day. That's what we've just been doing. Building cooperative economics in terms of it, like promoting self-reliance and resilience, economic independence of us, resilience in times of crisis. We know how we solve our crisis. We know how we never even had to deal with lack. I mean, like today we hear about climate change, and that we used to. I grew up in the village. We had floods, and if you know, if you know the traditional methods, this is so interesting. How the elders, would come together to solve that crisis of flood. I just don't know how on earth it became a scientific thing that people will have to design data and blah, 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 and hold conferences of meeting to solve something they call now climate change. That is a normal thing that we all grew up in, and people knew how to do it. Yes, it does cause a lot of damages. These are things that when natural things happen, you're not waiting for them. If the tornado is coming today, nobody is going to say, "Oh, I knew that it was going to come today," except somebody has done it intentionally. That's why the person is telling you to plan ahead. But in the communities, in the villages, the elders will come together, the mothers, they will always ask, "What have we done? What is the problem? Why? What are the gods telling us? What is the sign of this?" Now, we do also understand that that was also a way to fight war of hunger and something. Like I used to know our neighbors who are the Batibo tribes, in my community. So when there would be flood and they will, the flood would overflows the river around and would destroy crops. Our mothers always told us that, these are the Batibo people that are hungry now, and they're coming now and taking our crops. And believe me, in the next 3 months or so, there will be hunger in the village. So people were already, they knew it. They knew that these were spiritual wars that they fought in their own dimensions. And they understood what was it. And they would do conflict resolution. The kingdoms and the people in these villages will visit the other village and they will sit at the table. Yeah, you did pass around my backyard. They had those proverbs in which they speak with. You came through my backyard. We felt it, my cattle and my this and they will sit and they will resolve the conflict, and you will not see those floods again. It is not strange to us that we know how to manage this thing spiritually. What just happened? When we relocate from the systems and then we begin to lose this right of possession, so we don't get it anymore. And we begin to think that, no, some other people have to come and design a methodology to tell us, "Oh, we cannot take care of this, we cannot take care of this." How did you ever build civilization? Ask yourself that question. So that has never been a challenge. All right, again, and the academic principle says cooperative economics means we're encouraging entrepreneurship, innovation, support for startup, local innovation. Of course, this keyword would resonate with us because we're living in that generation that we've been programmed. And so once they put the keywords into you and you don't see anything that comes to fit into that concept, you feel like you are losing. You feel like you are not updated. You feel like you are not in the new technology. You feel like you are literally left behind. No. Mm-mm. What is it in the African spirituality, in the natural essence of the spirit of the creator and our ancestors? What is it? Entrepreneurship? What is innovation? That's just simple thing. I take you an example. We used to, when we were growing up, when we were going to the farms, we had this single bridge. Okay? The single bridge, because we had to cross in the night, coming from a deep, far away forest farms with my mom. And we were walking in the night and we arrived, the river had overflowed. And we had to navigate that river with no light, no touch, nothing. Like literally nobody could even see the next person in front of you. And I nearly drowned in that. So after that incident happened, it was announced in the village. Now the village people gathered together and the community talked about that incident, how I nearly lost my life. We had to throw our hose, this tills with which we till our gardens or our farms. I was carrying them, just a little girl. I think I was about 8 or 9, something like that. So, and those things drown. So the community, my mom went to the palace in the next morning, called up, and the chief and the community gathered And it was like something nearly happened to us, and this is it. And they sat together and said, but what is the reason? The reason is because that river that we were coming from the farms did not have a bridge. There was no bridge on it. So that's why we had to cross through the river, like into the water, right? And because it rained, that's why the river overflowed. Normally, it's just a simple river that we crossed every day, you know. And so, because of that incident that arose in the village people gathered, they put up a concept together. 1 week, like they usually had the traditional days, they had to call all the women, they gathered, and the men were responsible for cutting the trees to put, and the women were responsible for cooking the food. And I'm telling you, within 1 day or 1 week, there was a river, there was a bridge on that river. That is what is called entrepreneurship and innovation. Nothing wrong with that. So when we break it down into simple things, it doesn't make it, of course, we take away somebody's business of going to say, so what did they do? They identified there had been a problem, and they identified the problem, and they came together as a collective, and they brought their skills together, and they put the business plan together, they put the community together, they delivered that project. And never until today, as I'm telling you, that bridge exists in our village. I took my kids there when they were young, and I told them that story, and I showed it to them. That is the Africa cooperative economics. That is powerful, and it has never left our villages. I'm saying it because, the time is coming. Now we'll be going back to the villages. I don't see anybody in the next 20 years urbanizing themselves. They'll be going back to the villages. Because you know what? Even as we speak on the continent, the Chinese people are in the villages now. They are not in the urban cities anymore. They're walking these very farms. They're seeding organic seeds that we used to have. That's how much they build these kind of cooperatives and come and take away everything from us. So that is the power of innovation from an African perspective. Nothing wrong with it. And you can see it here, local innovation by addressing community specific challenges. Cooperatives encourage creative solution and localized business ideas. That's a whole business there. But it was a business of the collective. It was a cooperative economic model, even as it's just simple. They did it for the collective, for the good of the community. If I had lost my life in that river, so there would have been a loss, right, in the community. And the community feels that pinch because, like we say, it takes a whole village to raise a community. It's not like today. Oh, if something had happened, oh, it's your neighborhood, oh, it's your child that something happened to. So, well, go and report to the government, or there will be police there. They have their own system and the way they solve the thing. But is it in the collective need of the community? Of course, yes, too. But we are going from the spirituality concept of how we said yesterday, one hand of it tie bundle. It needs a collective. Put their talents together, put their resources together, and they move. And building cooperative economics in one term means advocacy and the collective power. That's just what I described in this exercise that I said. The advocacy is what? After that, now I'm talking about it. I'm creating awareness about it. So how many years? I'm already an old big woman, but I'm already the need that we need to tell these things, these stories, unite the advocacy, and put our voices very strong. We're talking about our first project, the soup, the Haiti soup. Okay, the Professor Baina Bello, Elise Danto, all the Haiti, like we saw the theater for 60 or how many years, have never stopped talking about it. That is the stronger voice for advocacy. Now, what do we spend our time advocating? We spend our time sometimes even promoting the enterprises of the colonizers and saying it is advocacy, promoting their agendas on our continent, in our economies, and we call it is awareness. Of course, they pay for it, to be honest with you. I saw it at the African Union. When they came together, oh, no, this is sponsored by this is sponsored by this, is sponsored by this. And we go about, no, we create awareness, mobilization, advocacy, or advocacy, or whatever, And because that strong voice of the collective builds a strong political influence. Doesn't matter. Politics is not just politicians and voters and everything. We had this African social system of governance. Call it, that was our politics in that case. Okay? So it has never been something that is new to us, the cooperative, the economics of the cooperative, of coming together. Now, I brought some examples here, which we know about it. I mean, in the traditional setup, we always talk about the credit unions. That's the cooperative model in the academic setup. The cooperatives, the credit unions. The credit unions, for instance, like the agricultural cooperatives. I knew it when we were also growing up. A typical example of that is the product called coffee. Sometimes we have to think, we have to reflect. We don't think most of the time. We don't really sit and pull back and ask some questions like, coffee is a product that doesn't grow in the West, like mango, like banana, like plantains, like potatoes. They don't grow in the West. But let me just stick on coffee, which is one of the most highly consumed drink, okay, in the West. They don't grow coffee. I grew up as a girl. I saw my grandfather a coffee plantation. And that was when I knew the difference between the coffee type called Arabica and Robusta coffee. Because what the West Africans actually produced was the Arabica. The Robusta coffee came, I think, from South America, and they integrated it in these cooperatives. But I'm telling you, we never drank coffee at home. Never. I saw the plant, but we ate the seed because it's kind of like sweet, like cocoa seed as well too. We ate the seed. We played with the seed. We harvested those seeds. And now, but we know that that was the main source of income for our grandfathers, because we would harvest the coffee. I love the coffee plantation. Like, it's just beautiful when they pop out the white flowers. It's just a beautiful scene to see. Did I know, as growing up as a little girl, that was a source of economy? No, because I followed my grandmother and my grandfather to the farm in these coffee plantations. We saw how the plants were, right? And then they will harvest it from when it grows from green seed and become red seed. We would harvest them. They were so fat and chubby like this. We always, would throw them in our mouth like what we have, like the strawberries today, and they remove the seed. So when we harvest them, we'll dry them in the yard. I was a lazy girl to go to the farm. I didn't like farm because I was afraid of mosquitoes a lot and insects. So I always would stay at home. And my job at home was to dry that coffee. Those of us that were lazy to go to the farms, we would dry the coffee. And we see it became brown, became dark, became the finished product. So after that, they would pound it. We select the seed, the beans out of it, and then we select the bad ones and then kept the healthy ones. And now our grandfather, they would put it and package it in bags, and these cooperative bodies would come around and pick it up and take it to the local market, to the local center, where they will then manufacture it and process it. So now you had the commercials that came, the companies that came like from bigger cities like Douala, Bamenda, Bafoussam, Yaoundé, to buy this coffee. The ones that they bought in the seeds and the ones that already were reproduced. I'm telling you something that I grew on. Why am I telling you this story? Because sometimes when we sit and say, oh, Africa needs industrialization. Come on, give me a break. We did all those things before the enemies came in and took everything out of our hands. We did it. I saw it. These cooperatives were thriving. The green economy was thriving. We used to do, now they call it festivals, what we do now, but it used to be the agricultural show. We call it agri show. Oh my God. I can still have the images growing up as a girl in Bamenda. We went to this agri show. You could see the plantains. It's not what we have today. All this pesticide kind of food that we're eating today. They were as fat, the bananas, it was green, it was fresh. You could walk from one stand, the aubergines, all sort of vegetables that we had. And at this agri show, it was about not selling, just showing the fruits that come from your harvest. And at the end of the day, they will share it. They would auction it at prices in the market, okay? And the rest of it will take it as food. Those that didn't have the different types of the ones that you planted, they would do it as an exchange. I'm telling you, grassroots cooperative economics that worked and thrives the systems that today we are then challenging and saying these are systems that are dying of hunger and food. I grew up in that time. I saw it. It's not a story. It's not a history book that I read. I'm talking my own history. So we have this agricultural cooperative, and it's here. Farmers cooperatives in Africa enable members to access market, negotiate better prices, and invest sustainability practices. Now, the thing is, who were the ones that were running those cooperatives, determining those prices? And that was the generation of my great-grandfather and my grandfather who never went to school, never knew how to write their names. But they run all these cooperatives, powered the process of economics, investment, know how to calculate their prices and their goods and services and everything without having been to school. How did they know? My grandfather used to trade in those things just like all of us. Tobacco, they will go to this cooperative, sell these things, then buy tobacco or buy salt and brought it to the Fulani people as an exchange. And the Fulani people would take the salt or the millet and use it as their food for their cattle. And this are all the things that we grew up seeing. How did we become different? Like to think that there's some other magic somewhere when we hear about this. That's the spirit of Kwanzaa we're talking about. Now, we also know about the credit unions today. It is a financial institute now that, people that are microfinance or whatever. When I talk about this, I always think about the quotation of Dr. Nkosazana Zuma, who said, anything that has to do with microfinance, microeconomics, micro credit, micro this, it always has to do with an African woman. He said anything when it comes to money, and it has to do with finance. And the African woman is always talked in terms about micro. And she said, what is micro about African women? You understand? That's why when I hear about this micro credit, micro things, I always think about Dr. Nkosazana Zuma. Okay, the first African woman that ever served as the chair commission of the African Union in 2012 to 2017. Right, a powerful, infatigable mother. She fought in the liberation movement of the ANC until today. All right, she's watching us right now. From South Africa. All right. So we go to the other example of the Black Wall Street. We know it. Like when we talk about building this cooperative, we really have to bring some of these examples so that it shows us the power that we had always been, that we had always created these things. It is not happening today. There's nothing new in everything that we just reminding ourselves of the greatness and the power that we always had and how this has to, determine, has to even make us evolve the more. All right. So we know the impact of the Tulsa Black Wall Street. Okay. I mean, the significance of the Black Wall Street. So some things that we hear about the I don't know, how do they call all this thing, the Black Street journals or whatever in the New York, they all stole all these things from the Black Wall Street that the Black people created. Okay. And they build some stories around it to destroy that community. I'll show you some simple images, but you can research it for yourself because like we say, knowledge is available everywhere. Ignorance is a choice now. Okay, so the economic independence of the Black Wall Street, that's a symbol of the Black power, yeah, and what, despite systematic oppression, segregation, and disenfranchisement, the people, the Africans in these communities could come up together and build it, despite all that, despite discrimination, despite colonization, and all those terrible laws of slavery and discrimination, all those laws. But the Black people, the community, your ancestors, your forefathers and foremothers, put the Black Wall Street together in Tulsa. Research it for yourself. So every single little thing that is going on today was learned, was stolen, was sin. It was, you were the example, you were the carbon energy, the original of it. Every single thing came from you. How on earth can you become a beggar and somebody that is lacking and somebody in need when you are the creator? Does the creator lack? That's the question. Does the creator cry for what belongs to you, what you have created and manifested and showed it time and time again? And now, I sneakily come and say, you are poor. It is how we distribute our resources. It is how we come together and focus on a common project, and we do it together. The people in my village that came collectively and put that bridge together. In the next days, we're going to collectively in January support the soup Ujamaa, our independence soup. We're going to come together like the people in my village, and we're going to figure out how we're going to support, to contribute to Mama Bello's foundation that is pioneering this Soup Ujamaa project in Fondation Felicite. Okay? So, despite the racial injustice, my people, you were able to show to the world. Yesterday, we talked about the Battle of Adwa. Today, we're talking about cooperative economics, and we're using the example of the Tulsa Black Wall Street experience. Have we just forgot? Even in 1929, that was already in the 19s. Okay, even in the 1884 Berlin War, I'm still coming to that, to the Berlin Conference. Nobody forgets history. History can never be wiped off except something has been replaced that you forget. So the Tulsa Black Wall Street can never be forgotten, should never be forgotten. That's a legacy. That's a footprint. Every other thing is a copy and paste. Okay. And despite all that racial injustice, remember at that time, I will show you the images, there was even just no light. And so those are the things that would inspire us. Those are the cooperative projects. I don't want you to go be Googling some things and begin to see some projects that has never ever benefited your community. On the contrary, has whipped away everything that you have and left you in poverty. So when we talk about building the cooperative economy together, we begin to align our purpose, our mission. We talked about Umoja on the first day, the purpose of our unity. We talked about self-determination, how much more we should set these clear goals, stay focused on it, and continue to do the work. Self-reliance, we talked about it. The power of the collective, we talked about it yesterday. Collective work and responsibility. Today, we are in day 4 talking about the cooperative, how we bring our work and we stay focused on what we want to achieve. So, because at the end of the day, this is the inspiration. Now, look at this beautiful image right here. Look at this image right here. This is the Tulsa Black Wall Street image. And like I said, in those days, you see, it wasn't even color. There was no colored, and it was still black, just like you see it. I mean, just a portion. This is just a portion of it, just to give us an idea that, I mean, Rolls Royce or whatever, or the us doing business has never been something that is new. that we have to go and do a business plan. We have to go and see consultancy. Just ask your mother in the village. Every single concept, I asked my mother. When you were walking beans and taking your cocoyams, how did you determine the price? And she would tell me, I said, how did you know who would buy at this price? And she would tell me, we just look at the people. You see people, the way they dress out, tax my basket of cocoyams for 2,000. And then I see somebody that I know doesn't have, he comes, I'll give it for 1,000. But we start from that, and then we begin to argue the price and come down. And finally, if I want to get a 500 francs for it, I start from 2,000. Tell me, for God's sake, where did they land this? That's the economics that we've been talking about. And we think that we have to do some big PowerPoints to be able to understand how to build small cooperatives and work together. So that we did it in those days. And look at this, some rich kids, like I said, rich Black kids in Tulsa at that time. Oh my God. This one in the middle, I always think I'm the one. I just don't know why. I always think because I have my baby picture, looks exactly like this. You understand? So that is it. That's the power. Look at, we didn't know about insufficiency. We didn't know about hunger. We didn't know about poverty. We didn't know. It never was a vocabulary. It didn't ever exist from the village. In our traditional terms, when somebody came, there was always something to eat in the house. I never grew up thinking that people are staying of hunger. I never thought that there was anybody that did not have. Because we collectively went to school. We had the same type of uniform. We had the same type of books in the class. We sat on the same table. I didn't see anybody that was more than everybody. At lunch break, we went out, opened our bundles of cocoyams that we brought from home. Everybody was eating and we shared with one another. I didn't ever grow up to think until I began to educate or get education. Then I start realizing that I was poor. I never experienced that. I'd never known anything like that. I always knew that at Christmas Day, when they brought the religion of Christmas to us, we would sit down and eat together and celebrate. Everybody, we wore the same dresses anyway. Our mothers would go to the market, and at that time, they'll buy us a white doll. And all of us were Black kids carrying these white purple dolls with blue eyes, with straight hairs, and everybody was carrying it. The ignorance of the mind, in celebration. So how did it all start? Like we still see, look at these guys here. This is an example of a negative cooperative economics that influenced and actually impacted our lives today. Berlin, 1884, when these guys came together, this is a cooperative economics in a wrong direction. Just to show you the image of how, what it means and the impact that can create. It can either create a negative impact, it can create a positive impact depending on the spirituality. That's why at the end of the day, we'll still go back to the essence and the basics of this depends on the spirituality that we have behind this cooperative. So these guys met here, as you can see. They were all fighting for their individual interests as a collective. And the one said, no, we're going to go to West Africa. And the other one said, no, I will go to Tanzania. The other one said, no, I would go to, and France said, no, I would give me the whole of West Africa. For how many years till today? And they say, no, because they are one is difficult. Let us go with the trick. The first thing, we divide them. If we divide them, then now we can begin to proceed. Okay? And this was what these guys came as a collective form. Why? To build that kind of economy. What kind of economy? To steal resources and to be able to build their own civilizations. That's also a collective or cooperative economics. Okay? You can see it. Everybody, they were talking and they were already sizing up the cake. What used to look like this became this. And just a little twinkle of a decision of, it was even called the Congo Treaty, because actually the giant and the things that were peppering them since Leopold was already there and called them and said, oh, I discovered this always discovering. So what became this powerful, even though we still argue the map and this, if you look at the original map of Ethiopia at the museum, you understand, because Ethiopia was Africa. Okay. So, and what became a one people, no boundaries, nothing. We could navigate one another. We could speak the same language. We could do everything. We could trade with one another. We could move our cattle and our goods from one place to the other. What divided us, or what we knew that we're different from the tribes to the other, could be a river. That we had to cross this river to the other side. And you always hear that at the other side of the river, our neighbors or we marry our women from there. That's how the boundaries were. Until this guy sat and said, no, this is too good to be true. This is so, the power in this oneness, don't underestimate it. If we don't begin to chop this elephant that is so big, starting by cutting the nails small, until we chop down the whole elephant, we would not be able to succeed. This were the discussions that we're holding, that were being discussed right there. Okay. And we saw it, and they did it. They came out with their strategy. They put everything in place. And this is what we have today. They're small. If you look at them, there's some tiny ones that, because it's the same. It's the same people. You look at the Ghanaians, you look at the Togo, you look at Burkina Faso, you look at Mali, look at one same people. They wear the same kente. Whether the Togolese kente is brown, white and black, and the Ghana kente is green, blue, and purple, or the different types of color, it's the same kente. They eat the same fufu. Whether the other fufu is made in balls or the other is the same fufu. They speak the same language that they understand. They dance the same rhythm. They tap their foot on the ground. Everything. They marry with the same traditional customs of how to pay a bride price and to take a woman into marriage. Everything was there. This is who we originally are. Until we were infiltrated and became these broken pieces of pizza. Like pizza, who takes which part, and now I begin to dominate. Until today, we have embraced it with the many flags that have been given, looking the same, and at some time. But you see, the power of the collective would never die. From Haiti to Caribbean to America to Europe to Asia to the continent, the origin of mankind has always been the same. The color, the energy, the connection, the art of dance. They carried their fufus to Haiti. They carried the drums, the voodoo, our culture to Haiti. It is alive and well and strong till today. The power of the collective of sharing the soup, the independent soup, is not something you go to the restaurant and ask a card and this. It is still what they brought from all these patches together. Give us this, we still take it and we still make it one. It still looks like this. It just only depends on how you see it. This is the point we're talking about. This is how we got here. From the power of the collective, from the power of cooperative economics with bad intention, with no spirituality, with no concern for the people, with no love for the people. The power of collective, of just gaining gains for myself without looking at the people. We want Africa, but we don't want Africans. That's the message till today. We want to develop Africa, no, but we don't want to develop it for Africans. And even if we don't develop it for Africans, Africans have to pay, because then we'll loan them money and then they will take the money and give it back to us. And then we get, it means, as a matter of fact, you just take and give it to some other people and they create the services to you. And we see it every day, happens in our everything. So cooperative economics has the power to divide, has the power to conquer, has the power to impoverish people if it is not based on spirituality, on African spirituality and values. You are on your own. So, when we look at the statistics of this powerful continent, I just put, referring to the 2023 statistics, I want to show you the power of a collective that we are today, even with this broken African state. Okay? If you look at the population alone, because that's first of all where we have to start, the market of us. How many of us are on this planet Earth? Sometimes when they just say population, you just look population, it doesn't really, but when we break it down to say how many of us are existing here, from statistics that have been shared in 2023, we are approximately 1.4 billion on the mainland. 2023, us are copies. I'm talking about the continent. I'm not talking about Europe, America, and all of us, because we are everywhere in the world. But I'm just saying the population of us on the continent in 2023 is estimated at 1.4 billion. That's the figures they give me and you. But if we go to the African figures of just saying we are many, I think we'll triple this. And that makes us the second most populous continent after Asia. That's where our problem always is. That's when I say problem, it's a others tell you it's a problem, but others see it as an opportunity. They see it as a consumer market of 1.4 billion people. So if I make it to in China, I want to sell it for 1.4 billion people. That's how the negative economic cooperative that goes without the need and the spirituality and the well-being of the people comes only to exploit, only to feed you and take out of you. Okay? Let us be clear on that. When we're talking about Ujamaa, if there's no spirituality in the cooperatives and the organization and the initiatives that we're building, if it doesn't go to benefit the community, you are on your own. Okay? So, and now we know that this continent account, the 1.4 billion, account for 17% of the global population. All right, I still say, let's go with the 17%. To be honest with you, is 17% insignificant to a global population? No. 17%. I'm talking about those on the continent, the 1.4 billion people constitute 17% of the global world population. Now, I want to take it step by step so that we don't miss the point. So if you build a cooperative, an initiative, an economy that you think about the collective, so you're building a project that has to think about serving the needs of 1.4 billion people. So you will be solving a 17% of a global economy. You'll be solving that problem. Whatever it is that you just built. That is how big the African mindset has to open up when we talk about cooperative economy. A cooperative economy creates an impact that covers the 1.4 billion people. That's how big your market is. Okay. Now they're breaking down in terms of, you see how they divide us even in terms of our needs, our population. And they go again and say Africa is home to the youngest population in the world with a median age of 19.7 years. I mean, let me take my ear. They already putting ear in that category of the youngest population, African population. So somebody is already giving you statistics and already carving out its own market to say, even this 1.4 billion that we are seeing now, but the median population is the youngest that is making up in this age, and it is definitely probably, let's say 30%. That is enormous as we're speaking of 2023. We're already entering 2025. Okay. Regardless of the wars, do you know how many people die on the continent in this war-stricken region? But they're still coming up with statistics to still give you the potential growth and the rate at which this growth is trending. So, for instance, we build a corporation today. We're building a cooperative economy today to supply Subjamo. So, Subjamo is an independent, significant spiritually drink and a meal. Subjamo was created the impact during the liberation war that people could drink that soup and go and not go hunger. They did that in the liberation war of Adwa. They had the soup. I saw the container at the museum and I said it was Subjamo that was here. They might call it different. They call it the soup. And they made the 3-stone fireside as the women were cooking and feeding them. It's the same thing. Remember, even Haiti and the people of Haiti fought in the Battle of Adwa. So it is significant. But if we are building a cooperative now to begin to produce that soup to feed and to serve in all markets in Africa, so we're talking about serving soup jamon to 1.4 billion people on the continent every 1st of January. I don't know how much wealth in terms of fiat currency you can imagine. That is the power of the spirit of the collective. That's the power of the cooperative economies. If it is not big enough to solve the global challenge on the continent of Africa, we have not built any economy. Any cooperative economy, like I said, this word micro, we don't want to hear it. Dr. Nkosazana warned us. What is micro about the Africans? Many things. What is micro about a people that is 1.4 billion? What is micro? So take away that word micro in your agenda as we speak right now. Anything that has been, no, I want to build a microfinance, anything that is micro is not part of you. That's the power of it. Now, we're still talking about the statistics on the continent. Now we come to the African diaspora. You know, we are the 6th continent. We're the 6th nation of the continent of Africa. Okay? We are the 6th nation in the diaspora. The African diaspora is estimated at 200 million. We know it's 400 million or 300 million. Let's stick with 2023 statistics. 200 million people, including those in the Americas, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. No, these ones are only including those in the Americas and the Caribbean. We haven't even put those in the Middle East. Now you see how they begin to accept that, oh, of course, we belong to the whole world. They didn't ever. Middle East, you would never have heard that, or Asia, or thought that we were. No. Right? So, let's still take the 200 million. So from our Subjamo, we build that cooperative, come together, put our resources together. We produce Subjamo for 1.4 billion people and for 200 million people. Every 1st of January, the whole population of this is consuming their Subjamo. They would just take a little bit. It's like my moringa, a cup of tea that I put, like just a small sachet, and just sprinkle it into water, and we know that we're connected, and we drink on 1st of January. You go to every market, they'll be selling it and putting it into not a micro economy, into Fondation Félicité Bank for Development of the African people. Okay? So then you understand this thing, they analyze it and tell you the largest African diaspora communities are in countries like Brazil, United States, France, Caribbean nation. I mean, of course, we're everywhere, of course. But I'm telling you the power of numbers. Because even we will still go on to break it down, even in the female energy. The reason why we matter too much, the African women, the Black woman, is our numbers. Everything that we take in numbers. You just see how big it is, how marvelous, how just big we are, how you cannot limit to micro, how you cannot shrink yourself to micro, to becoming micro. So economic data is saying the global GDP, Africa's collective GDP, is approximately at 3 trillion as of 2023, with Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt being major contributors. Anyway, let's stick on these statistics, okay? So 3 trillion in that's the global GDP. Without us, we haven't put ourselves into it. These 3 trillions are the statistics of maybe the European World Bank projects, United Nations projects, whatever, China projects, Russian projects, everything. You are not included. Not even the African Development Bank, I don't think, is in the statistics of the global GDP. This is out of you. Remember, anything that was created, even for the continent, has never been with you in mind. So the African Continental Free Trade is said to create the largest market in that. We know that's just a market, and they call it the biggest free trade zone. Spirituality, oh my God, we are just too many. I already gave you our statistics. All right. So now coming back to our contribution as a diaspora and the 200 million that they say we are, our contribution is estimated at $95 billion annually. Those were annual statistics of 2022, with countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya being the top recipient. Now, they talk about remittances. What is a remittance? And first of all, what is a GDP? A GDP is the total goods and services that a nation produces. Okay? So now the remittances is what we as the diaspora send home to the continent. Now I think you've already noticed since 2002, how 2020, when this global collapse came, how difficult it is for you to send money to Africa. You've already understood that because they are constantly studying you to be able to all these gadgets, apps that we use to send money have all their data. They collect data. They collect data of how much money we send home to which country. That's why they could give you these countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya are the top recipient of the money that you send home to these countries. So like the diaspora or the migrant communities that are in the diaspora that are doing money transfer back home to their people. Why are they studying this? To come up to tell you, look at the amount you are contributing, 95 billion into an economy of 3 trillion. So who is the biggest contributor and the biggest stakeholder into the African economy? It has never been the global West, an institution, not even the World Bank. It is the African diaspora. Fact. I'm not conjuring anything. Statistics. Research it for yourself. And to understand the economic importance before you talk about to dissect the cooperative economics. Look at your contribution. Whether it's through cleaning jobs, or it's through babas, or it's through hustling, or sort of hustling. Remember, you are not put as a boss or a CEO of a Fortune 1000, whatever, Fortune whatever companies. The little collective. So it means I want to share with you the biggest myth in history. And the biggest power in history means that diaspora, the African diaspora, is the sustainable source and power for the continent economy. Now, this 3 trillion that I said, I will still go in to chop in the 2 trillion to say it comes from the market women of Africa. Mhm. So that is the power of a cooperative economics. We don't say it because we think, oh no, at the end of the day, now this 95 billion dollars, we would have put it in something. Of course, if we want to do it in this kind of crookery way, or in the kind of the way that you don't know where it's going to go to, then we should put this money, take even only 50 billion. We have to go to the African Union on their agenda 2063 and say, here we come with our 50 billion as African diaspora. Give us our own project. We want to take the main road, the Pan-African road that connects the whole continent, because we want a One Africa project. Here is our 50 billion. Give us that project. I'm telling you, you are signing that contract in 2 days and coming back. That is the power of cooperative economics. We haven't built that main Pan-African road that connects all the continent. And that was a project of late Muammar Gaddafi that we know. And even that was a project that was designed at the first meeting of the OAU in 1963. I have the documents. The Pan-African Road was the first initiative that would break down these borders, and that so they're coming back into this Africa Continental Free Trade Zone. We know with free access to diseases. Now every day you hear countries popping up with visa on arrival. Still will not work. Still doesn't work. That's not what we want. That's not what the African want. We want to be able to be free like we were before, from one place to the other, the Bantu migration. We never heard anything when we studied the Bantu migration about borders, about rivers, about everything, that people had to pay some kind of things to go to with their cattle or to start their businesses in the other communities to create agriculture and all these things. We never read about it. That's not history. I don't know. That is referring to that. So the biggest thing we are taking here is that power of the collective and the cooperative that we are building with this our small. I've told you I'm not using the word micro. Our big mega projects that we are doing for our community. We took the example of Professor Baena and Fondation Félicité and Ujamaa. That's a project that has been running for years upon years, until Professor Baena is raising great grandchildren that know about the soup. Shows you how work. It is the same thing like us. This is our identity product. I already told you yesterday about our festival, Omoja Festival, that we started in Germany in 2006. And the thing that we had thought, or not thought, that brought us as a purpose was always, what kind of cooperatives or products do we bring out of these cooperatives that has to be significant to the growth and to our own needs. Remember, that's this spirituality background that I'm talking about. Why did we choose the model festival? Because the model festival, we had been to talk about or to empower our identity. When we talk about decolonization, and we sit some of the times and do all this talk. If you don't have a project that is backing all these initiatives, it is difficult. And so we do more of the talking than creating the impact on the ground. This is since 2006 that I came to Germany and launched this project. Immediately I finished my studies and I saw the need of this discrimination, of this lack of identity. And because we were already creating families here that we never even knew how our future would be, like going back or not coming back, or what, we had to create powerful structures that reflect our spirituality, honoring our heritage, connecting us to our root, and staying in a strange land at home. That's how I started the festivals till today. And the impact that it has created in our community is undescribable. The challenges that we have gone through have been, you dare not underrate it, Germany. But through that, they were not negative. They were the challenges that brought us to be now known as the most important platform for Africans, for the African community in Germany, not just for the in Europe. In Europe, connecting the continentals and mainland. Okay? So we thought, look at this, a product that is me, is my culture, our artifacts, our spiritual stuff, brothers and sisters in the diaspora, that is just their mission. Remember, every single thing, like I said, I connect all my works to spirituality. If it doesn't connect to the spirituality and the benefit of the community, for me, it is just, like I said, you're on your own. So whether they are small businesses, but what they do in promoting and empowering the community with those businesses is what matters. So we look for products, we look for markets that identify us. And I think literally these festivals of African culture, market, food, clothing are everywhere. Do you underestimate the representation these things are doing, this gathering? It's a Kwanzaa. It's the first fruit. So when we say this week of Kwanzaa, it's reminding us, because once we enter 2025, we have to start locating where these projects are, because now you know. That's the cooperative impact. They go from one place to the other. If you have a piece of cloth like the mud cloths from Mali, like the cotton cloths from Adowa, from the women of Adowa in the communities, the Kente from Ghana, the Ashoke from Togo, all this, the Bubu from the houses, okay? When you get all this, these are identity products that connect you to your roots. We said something here. It's because of the mix that we are. If you look at the Muslim women and their tubers, whether it is under rain or sun or winter or heat or what it is, they wear it 24/7. They never take away their turbans, their hairscarf, never. Whether you like it or you don't like it, or it fits you or it doesn't fit you. In Germany, they did everything, with their democracy, to remove their head. It never worked. And they had to integrate it in that culture. Dr. Nkosazana told me when they came to them and they were in the Pan-African Parliament, the first thing they told them, when we give you the power, now you have to have a dress code called the power dress code. And I asked her, Mama, what is that? She said, the suit, the coat, the everything, but the gray. Of course, we have the Mandela suit and our jumpers. You can dress anyhow, whether in a blazer or whatever. For me, it all depends what you align to it. But the colors, the gray is what they oblige them, that as we're going to give you this power and back you up military and everything supporting and economy or whatever, you have to choose, you have to be in a dress code called the power dress code. That was the first time I heard that word. And that was the first time everything makes sense to me in Germany or in Europe. Why everybody, now they dress colorfully, but when we came, everything was gray. If it was not gray, it's black. And I never understood. You understand? So every single thing has a meaning behind it and a purpose and an economic benefit to that point. Now, if they had to agree, she was a revolutionary and she is still by nature, and she said, no, We're not going to. We have our own indigenous made clothing. What is wrong when we wear it to our assembly meetings at the AU or in our congresses? What is wrong with that? Because, of course, she figured out it's not because they hate you, it's because somebody has to start producing and putting that clothes for you every day, you changing it, and you leaving your money in their hands. Simple. Car brands and stuff like that. That's why you see nearly all the head of states, they have the latest Porsche Mercedes Benz, because they say it's a power product. Yeah, so that's how they build cooperative economy with a mindset, whether it's now wrong or it's not wrong. But we are talking about products that come to the principles of Kwanzaa that identify us. Our drums. We started it. This is on our projects in Germany, in Tübingen, Germany. These are our sellers. I have to use images that are on, but of course, just for illustration, but of course, to show you this is how. And we bring our children and they started learning to get into it. This picture is one of my best pictures. And these boys are grown now. They're the ones taking over the festival. These are early pictures when we started. My sons too were like this. They are all now grown in their 20s, 25s, and now they're the ones taking over the projects. So when we build it at this time, when we have a cooperative idea and the community impact that we're creating, and it has to reflect what we want. We thought culture, our music, our dance, our costumes is our traditional spiritual connection and network. So it is not it just, oh no, we do African Festival. Like I told you yesterday, when we came, or when I came to Germany, all these projects were in the hands of white Germans. They were the ones doing African festivals and teaching the Africans how their principles should look like. But they were focused on the business of it, not building the community. It had nothing to do with representation or with the spirituality. It was just taking musicians, making so much money out of them and not giving them anything. And so when we came and we took it, we said, I said, this cannot work. And when we took it and put it, those kind of musicians that were also bamboozled were only going to those ones. And we were always looked as, no, they don't have, I want to remember one of we don't have these big reggae stars, that would charge you, a 20,000 for a concert for 10 minutes. And we had those challenges. We've gone through a lot. At one time, the festival literally was closed. And they even had to, cease our concept, give money to non-Africans, and put it on the same date and the same location, because we had pulled so much energy and intention back there. And they went and took Alpha Blondie, the person that did it. Was also a brother that was connected to interracial marriage, and they had to do it. And we stopped 2017. We said, no, we're not going to host on that day. And they brought Alpha Blondie there because they said, oh no, our own was just, simple drummers and people just coming, showing clothes. No, it doesn't represent the image of the community that we are. We want this powerful, African artists. It was not affordable for us, and it was not our mission. My mission was to bring the community together, what we've never had in Germany when we came. A place where we can feel at home, connect, share our stories, our children see us grow like that so that they can take it. That was the mission. My mission was not creating a business to hire that kind of artists and pay them $20,000 or $30,000. It was not an entertainment show. That's how we grew and grew to become the biggest platform just by representation. We host Pan-African Congress. We host Black Excellence conferences and talk about the need for us to connect, to work together. Umoja conferences are there. And everybody came on its own. Nobody had nobody pays a ticket or anybody. People just came from all over. The atmosphere, even the bigger population, like I told you yesterday, became the Germans, because they had to learn how to be humble. The African indigenous culture unapologetically, not mixed with anything. We just did our things the way you had to do. You come, you sleep on the floor. I showed the images yesterday. You bring your tent and you network. We are there. And nobody wants to leave. And our children have grown like that. So cooperative economics depends on the spirituality and the meaning. If it is not serving your people and the community for which you intend to do it, you are on your own. Build an individual business is not this kind of cooperative that we're talking about. We do exhibitions like this. These are one of the first exhibitions that I did. And I had to go house to house. This was even on the continent, and ask for people to bring this collective, because even on the continent of Africa, people just use this as design. They never knew it. But I grew up in the village where my father taught me the importance of not the spiritual items that we have called artifacts today that were stolen from us. That's why you see that was the first thing that was stolen out of Africa, the power of our ancestry and our connection. And so we used to do exhibitions, even in Germany today. We're putting that collection up to teach our people not to be afraid, because it became as something like you put these artifacts, like if you see, it's just because I'm in the studio, you could see my whole wall is all filled up with it. Because I know those are my roots. What are you afraid of? So we started to teach the young people, school people, how to relate, how to connect to their ancestors, how to understand the importance, how to begin themselves to get into this industry of, actually uplifting these images, how to build voodoo necklaces. I saw it in Ethiopia. I told you about it. And the power and the belief and their attachment to it. Who has the right to take it away from you? So as we enter 2025, our concept has to be clear. What kind of cooperative economics we want to build? If it doesn't save our people, it is not for us. You're just a simple business people, and we have nothing against your business, honestly speaking. Okay? So yes, we have to learn this. We have to get this. We have to get this in our houses. We have to honor them. We have to position them. We're talking about libations. We have to talk to them. We have to connect to them. Of course, we have to. Oh my God. I met a guy at the African Union conference. He looks exactly like my artifacts here on the wall, and I made a picture with him. It was so impossible. This guy was from Senegal, and they came with their water project. And I happened to be in their session. I looked at him and looked at him and looked. After that, I went and approached him. You see, that's what we're talking about. We just look at it as just carvings or artifacts. No, they are the spirit of who we represent. I took a picture with him and I told him, because I have those masks, they're from Senegal. They are the same like that, the long, slender face. I said he was just looking like one. And I told him. So it's a representative, and it's something that we have to be proud of. Our culture is what connects us to our spirituality. That's our spirituality. Now, if you research even on Kwanzaa, they tell you, no, it's not a religious celebration. It's just a cultural thing. I say, yes, call it anything. Because that's the power of the people coming together. Call it anything. Call it even a bazaar. No, it's not spiritual. What's spiritual? When we dance, we eat together. We commune together. We tap our feet together. We go in rounds. We eat fufu and injera from the same plate each other, feeding each other. We eat fish together. What is that? Spirituality. Nothing less, nothing more. So images that we represent about tourism, about the people, the cultures that we go, the Maasai's, we have Brother Dennis Board right here. He went to the Maasai, and he had that experience with them. Such a marvelous time out there. Brother Bodright, you still have those images, and we're going to celebrate it in Detroit, okay, in September. Of course. So, yes. And like I said, the representative is very important. How we connect spiritually, what binds us and bring us together, what unites us as that a feminine and masculine energy of oneness. That's the power, that's the background, that's the reason, that's the basic upon which we have to build this collective economy, this cooperative economy. So it's not just a shop where we do this, but every product of that shop is coming from the spiritual background and the force that back it up. That is why we are fulfilled, not in the number of fiat currencies and we have, or the luxuries that we are, in the fulfillment that I know that when it gets well with you, it gets well with me. That's enough. I don't need any much in this dimension. I don't need more. Okay. So that is that power that we're talking about. We've been able to strengthen our communities together in Germany. That was 2013 image. And you see, bringing families has been one of our primary concern. And we're still going to be doing lectures here on that. Because the biggest thing that was stolen from us was to divide and break the family foundation between us, our marriages, our relationship, our intentions, even how we even hooked up in those. Okay. How do we still keep these communities intact regardless of our status? How do we still promote and lobby and make sure the roots are strengthened? How do we? Okay? It is the foundation of everything that we are today. And they understood why they had to break it. So, like next year that is coming, we want to, like I already told you, we're creating awards. And the awards in Umoja, Germany is going to relate to families, to the little things that we do that matters. Going to honor our communities. I already told you the calendar would be coming up. That's why I'm already talking about Detroit in September next year, because we're already working on that space. And why that Detroit, you will know tomorrow with our speaker, Brother Ron Spears. Okay, because for me, Detroit is so significant in my spirituality journey. For those of us we know, for those of us who were at the One Africa conference, we just know why we have to do it. Or me particularly, that was the first time that I had an ancestral download, that my ancestors spoke to me, gave me my mission, and it was clear and certain, was at the One Africa conference in Detroit. And as a thanksgiving and as a rewarding, as a recognition, we will, from the Africa We Want Network, be recognizing and honoring our people that are doing marvelous work in the communities around us. So we're starting with Germany. We already said it, Umoja, in June. And then we move on to Detroit and we go to Addis Ababa, in December. We wanted to go to Addis Ababa, in Adowa, in Addis, of course, in May. But like I said yesterday, we got the feedback it's an African day and they respect that day because of the organization of the African Union and stuff like that. So we push Addis back now to, to December next year. But already we're starting with our Pan-African Daily TV Awards in March. It's going to be a virtual awards ceremony. We have to recognize our work and all our speakers and all of us that have actually put this family together. It's a time of rewarding. That's my own download. That's my own mission. That's my own message from my ancestors for 2025. I have been rewarded. I shall be rewarded, but I have to award my communities or our communities or our people. That's my own download. That's my mission, purpose for 2025. So all these platforms is what we're going to be doing. So building cooperative economics, again, as I just want to conclude, is embedded to the spirituality behind it. Without the spirituality, I'm very sorry, there's nothing else that we can do. We just be doing single businesses or doing our businesses and mining our business like we do. That's okay. But when we mean to create impact, change, and do meaningful contribution to the heroes are people in the community. We have to come together as one and master the plan. Like I said, I'm waiting for the link for the Haiti soup, and we'll be sharing that with you. Okay. So I want to thank you so very much. It was long, but it was necessary because this topic is very diverse and it is confusing. It is mixed with all sort of concepts that we know. And that was why it was really necessary that we break it down. I mean, from the gift that I receive, that's from the downloads that I get. This is what I give to you. Okay. And so, yes, like I said, this is going to be our speaker tomorrow. And tomorrow, Kwanzaa Day number 5 is about purpose. And we want to have a dialogue with Brother Ron Spears in Detroit about the impact and the purpose of his mission work in African communities as he's been doing it for the past 30 years. All right. So tomorrow is about purpose and bringing the projects on the platform. I wish I'll be able to reach out to Professor Baina too. I think I saw her in the chat or something like that. So he could share the link of the Ujamaa, and normally we'll be sharing even before the conversation. I'll share it in the networks. I'll share it if the link is already created for our donations so that we start it already now. Oh, Professor said, I'm here. Wait, I was not paying attention to the chat. Professor Baina, I wish I could just share the link to this conversation with you. Oh my God, for you to just join us live now and just say something. I don't know. Thank you so very much. You are here. Professor, what is it that you can say? Can you join us live now? Is it possible? Can you even just make a call? Oh my God, I've just been away from my phone and even the chat. I was not paying attention, and I think a lot has been going on in the background chat. And please give us. I have to share the link of the show with Professor to just tell us about the soup and the project. Please, please, please. It's very, very important. I'd waited for this moment, and I can see that Professor Baina even wrote to me earlier on before we started to share the link. I'm so sorry. I did not see this. I was already live. I did not see. Oh my God, even Professor James Small had asked for the link. Oh, oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry here. I'm so sorry. I did not see this. I just was busy, and like I said, because I was late. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean, okay. I have put the link each time you mention it. Oh, okay. Where is it here? Can you in the chat here? Can you share it to me on my WhatsApp so I can bring it here to the chat? Or you put it in the chat, Professor? Has someone saw the list? Oh my God. Even Brother Marshall was telling me to, Dr. Professor Baina shared a number of comments in the live as well. Okay. I'm so sorry. I was just on the session here. I'm really sorry. If we can have the link again here. But I just shared the link. The link, the link to the show right now. If you could join, I think that will be too late. But put the link here. I'm not seeing the link. Or you share it with my WhatsApp, and so I can share it officially in the group, please. I'm really sorry. I didn't get it. I did not get this. Really, really, really. And I keep saying the whole time, Professor is going to come here, he's going to share the link. I didn't even for real even saw the chat, because when we are on the mission and we're getting a lot of information, you cannot break it. I had to just stay on it on purpose, on mission, to send the message out. That's why when I finish, then I can go to the chat, to connect with you here. Right. Okay, Professor Baina. Oh, this is so sweet. No need to be sorry. You were concentrated and did a great job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, my mentor. My teacher. You. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I think we have the lead here. We have the link. Give me a minute. I'll be pulling it up. Oh, okay, okay, okay. It is in all languages here. Let me just copy the link and then we would share the message here. Okay. Uh-huh. Thank you so much, Professor. Here. Exactly. Okay. I was on the other number. I didn't see this number. I was on the other number. This one is, I save your numbers on different with different names. The one I sell, the one I put Mama Professor Baina Bello, the one I put Professor Baina, the one I put Mama Bello. I have different names from you. So I just shared the link. People and I will share the full text, the motivation. But of course, if you click on the link, you're going to be able to share your donation for Soup Ujamaa, which is the last day of the Kwanzaa. Remember. I'm sorry, bring us back to this for the purpose mission of that. Okay, the first light, the first fruit, how we bless and how we share it. Imani on Imani. So we have to do a collect as a cooperative of economic to feed our people in Haiti. This opening up the doors to everything that we'll be doing in 2025. Okay. So yes, of course. You got the links, right? I just want to share the first light, the first fruit, the meaning of Kwanzaa, and the reason why this conversation is going on. We already talked about it this week, that our Thanksgiving would go to Fondation Felicite. All right. All our donation is going to go there. It's going to go to that project, to our people in Haiti, to the independent soup in Haiti. And we already have taken it in our cooperative products. I already told you that this soup chameau would be available everywhere on the continent and in the diaspora. That's what we did in Ethiopia. Now you know the reason why I was so long in Ethiopia. Yes, because when I went to the museum and I saw that pot and I saw the soup that they cook and gave it to their people to make them strong and to win the battle, it was not this. It was the same thing, like the independence soup of Empress Felicite. Yes, and Fondation Felicite. So, of course, there's no way we can jump past these things. It's right here with us. Oh my God, why are these slides just taking time? But of course, you know the image I'm talking about. We're right there. We're right there. We're right there. Why is it not going again? The slides. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm pushing too much, so it's not that fast. Okay, but you remember the image of the first fruit, the first fruit, our Thanksgiving, the altar. The altar is a symbolic a status of sharing. And I told you the story of how my mothers in the village built their own, and they would drop, a fruit, a gift, or anything for anybody that was in need in the community. That's how they fed the gods. Okay. And so each year at Kwanzaa just went with that principle. And the first, they shared now a common meal and they brought present. And now, because we're talking about building cooperative economies, we are putting our own, in the concept of a collective gift, to support our communities in Haiti with the independent soup. And so our collection is going to Fondation Felicite. Please donate as much as you can. The link is there. You click it, you're going to see it, and you're going to share, with it directly. I think Professor Baina put out a message out there. Let me see. Oh, there's even a video link. Please just wait. Let me upload it. And then we can, it's a 57 seconds. thing. Anyway, I'll be sharing it, but I'll still have to upload it here and share it with us tonight and in the different groups. And from tomorrow, we'll start sharing it here, because to upload it now, it's gonna take us the challenges of the studio. I know it for myself. So people, thank you so very much. And I love the spirit here. I love the message that I got, and I love the message that we shared together. And like I said all the time, if you have learned something, if you have been empowered and inspired, please thank yourself. And the best way to thank yourself is to share. And sharing, we have a project that we have to share. And even after the first, because the first, the soup is done, but it's the whole of January. So our whole project for Germany is going up for Fondation Felicite. Please, I've put the link in this. Those that are watching me from Pan African Daily TV YouTube channel, or you're watching me from Dr. Susan Tata page, please, you will get it there. The independent soup is the basic. I told you already, we're going to be doing webinars, because there's just too much I cannot hear. Too much power, too much liberation, too much. It's not meant for this space. Okay? And we decoding. We'll give you all this decoding. Yes, we'll do it on the structures, but I'm saying we have to connect it differently. So watch out for our upcoming webinars that we'll be doing. They're all going to be free. We're not going to charge anybody anything. We're not charging anybody anything. On the platform here, you give as you feel, as the spirit tells you, as you connect, as you get the download. I told you, even ever since 2021, there's never a day I will sit here and be telling you, please donate, please do this. Just do it. You want to sign for membership, you do it. You feel like you can give, but we'll be giving you the projects where we're channeling your support to. Okay? If it is our project, we tell you. If it is all our membership project, are cooperative economic, because every single person, whether a speaker or a follower or in the chat group, you are the cooperative economics that we have built on Pan African Daily TV. So I urge you to bring your projects forward. Bring it, we inculcate it in our cooperative economic projects. All our platforms would be our projects. Like in Germany, we have to go with Fondation Felicite. We have to go with Ron Spears. We have to go with the Buffalo Soldiers movement of Brother Jan in Antigua. We want to be represented by Brother Dennis Botwright, the Pan-African Studies, African Studies, Center for African Studies in Detroit. We want to be represented on all our platforms where we go, even with our award ceremonies. So if you have a project, you have a business, you have a network, anything that you have, bring it to the table. It is the year of building this cooperative economics. And our network is called the Africa We Want Network. Town, TAWWN. Okay, the website has been on the ground for long, but it is coming up and we will show it to you. And I want to thank Sister Stevie Robinson. She's the one who partly funded that website to be live. That's how we cooperate. That's how we've been able to impact this community out here. I cannot list all of them, but you will see them when the website comes on, their logos, and the people that have been supporting this platform in every other ways. We thank you and we thank ourselves. So that's the 2025 way forward. We go with Pan African Daily TV. Create your initiatives, whatever thing that we're doing. We are so talented. Remember, we talked about it. The skills among us is what you are bringing to the table. Anything that you're doing, whether it's your foundation, it's your organization, it's your initiative, is what, bring it. Because we're going to do a lot of webinars on how to empower one another, how to build this network, how to connect our businesses, and these businesses are community oriented, how it impacts our community. We're going to do a lot of lectures, not just conversation. We've listened to conversation enough. And that's what we're doing, presentations and building up a quality network platform. Bring all your projects on board. Bring your networks, your community projects on board. Bring your foundations, bring your movements, bring your independent or yourself, just your brand or anything that you're bringing up. Remember, it is to support and to support Black businesses and economies and our projects. That's the motto for Cooperative Ujamaa 2024 Kwanzaa. All right. So thank you so very much. Please make sure we click in and we're donating. Tomorrow we're really going to take live donations for the Soup Jamon, for freedomsoup.org. That's where we are. We actually would be taking calls and people pledging and people actually donating live on the show tomorrow and the last day of the faith. Okay. And we would still continue to do that. All right. So thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Lawrence. Thank you, Sister Lee. Thank you, Sister Lisbeth. Thank you, Reparation. Yeah, show me your face here, whoever is watching from where. I just want to greet you, recognize you, salute you. Marshall, I see you. Thank you so much. Benjamin, you've been here. Um, Stevie, David Bertrand. David, somebody said something about you the other day that I didn't know that there was always my brother in the chat. We become to the same, we are from the same community. I said, who is that? He said, David, Dave Bertrand. I said, really? Wow, you see, that's how much we connect and empower each other. Brother Denis Borai said, the Alliance of Science State personifies all 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Well said. It can never be wrong. It can be wrong, Brother Denis. It's just true. It's just true. Yes, that's how it is. Please greet Nairobi for me. Greet Zuri for me. I love the beautiful pictures, the way you're raising these children. Hey, Brother Denis, I told you your award is in different categories. Okay, the best father, the best everything. Okay. Yes, and we're gonna start it up in Detroit. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, every other one that was here. Oh, Brother Wade Nobles, always with us. Thank you so very much. Betty Yankees, thank you. Amel Peel, thank you so much. You said, yes, Queen, we must make a beginning, a great one, a great one. Benjamin, thank you. Oh my God. Frances Smalls, thank you. All the time watching from South Carolina, Charleston. Thank you so much. Always. The family is always the same. Quality family. Guada 9, you say hit the like button. Thank you. Shaka, you're always here. You're always here. I recognize you all the time. I mean, the family is one. And Shabaka, thank you. Shabaka, thank you. Thank you for being here. We miss, I think we miss brother Parker today, and it's Parker must be somewhere. Oh, Maite Valencia, Rodrigue. Oh, my sister from Panama, the Queens of Panama, Panama City. Stevie, you remember? Stevie, I'm still looking for our pictures from Panama to pull up out here. I still have a lot of them. I think you also have them. Please share. Oh, Sister Mate, thank you so very much. How is Queen Dr. Melinda Barrow Harris? Wow. I mean, we've been sharing conversation. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh my God, my bad. Mr. Parker is here. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was here saying, oh, somebody that we miss is Mr. Parker, and he was right here. He said, thank you, happy Kwanzaa. I've been home, just been observing in silence. Exactly. Brother, as I was scrolling, I didn't see you. I was like, give a shout out, and I thought you were not. And I was just calling like, oh, there's somebody we miss here. You're right here. You are right here. The spirit in this place is so sweet and beautiful. Kabaka Sa, sister from UK. Thank you. Always on point. Kabaka Sauce is one of the founding champion ladies on the Pan-African Daily TV. I mean, I can remember in 2020 when we launched, I'm telling you, midnight, all times this queen will call, we would collect, they keep bringing down the platforms, we keep building them. I mean, all this, what we see here today has been built by a big mega force. All the platforms that I run, from the festivals to Pan African Daily to every other thing, has always been funded voluntarily. A self, or people who are selfless have put effort and power and money and everything in their little way they could for us to be this mega platform that we are. Okay, and these are the people we're going to be rewarding, we're going to be recognizing, we're going to be giving them awards. Every single person that shows up your face here and demand your recognition. We must not know all the lists that we've been putting together. I cannot remember all. I just put the ones that are still coming, from the volunteers to everything. But please, if I miss out on something, remind me, or you yourself claim your award. Claim your award and say, no, I need my award. It's our right to demand it. There's no shame about it, because we make mistakes. I can forget. Whether we're giving 1,000 awards or we're giving how many recognitions, please just show up and say, I'm also here. So thank you, Sister Koboko Sauce. Koboko Sauce. Thank you so much. Brother Paul Brown, thank you. That's also one of us. I mean, like, we know our community, we know our people, we know ourselves. They're here, one after the other, one after the other. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Thank you for being here. Eleon, thank you. Eleona, or Eliona, SPG. How do I pronounce your name? I hope I'm not. And you talked about the soup chameau, the pumpkin soup. Professor Baina, he's also, I don't know, is it he or she is also celebrating today, and he or she and Brother Yan from the Buffalo Soldiers in Antigua Barbuda, they are celebrating today also. And now he's also championing already, championing for the soup jameau, and say the pumpkin soup. Hey, Eliona, it's the soup jameau. Whatever it is in it, we have a secret ingredients in that soup. And that independence, that secret independence, is the one that gives victory. That's why you saw the people in Adwa had to defeat, and you saw Fondation Felicite and the emperor and empress had to defeat in the liberation movement. So it's not just a pumpkin soup. Don't just go there and buy some pumpkin and just do some kind of yellow thing here. Okay, there's a congee in it. There's a koboko in it. and that's what makes the difference. Okay, and that one we're not going to share it here. You would have to get it, and then you understand what made this battle successful. Yeah, so it's not just a pumpkin soup. I like the way you put it. Do you know, the Germans, they have a particular pumpkin soup. And I'm telling you, they drink it for their Halloweens and stuff when they're doing all these pumpkin fest things here. I don't know why they always choose pumpkin to have punished that pumpkin and put some kind of stuff on it. But of course, that's exactly the point on which we're talking. So soup chameau is something else, okay? Assist the reparation. The queen, we know you'll be coming up with shows too. And I will sit there and watch it. I will laugh like, oh my goodness. Oh, it's so crazy. I will have to. Brother Wade Noble said, no more stealing of Mother Africa's minerals. I'm telling you, wait, when we drink the soup jameau, you will start understanding. And honestly, this soup jameau would be available for you to purchase at any time from February. Okay, so that will be the ingredients and everything that is collected to it. Mama Bello will tell you more. All right. So please show me your faces. I know there are a lot. I have some. Emelda Kenzo, show me your face right here. because I want to give a shout out for you. And you are our new first time guest for today, and you're watching us. I know, but you don't want to show your face in the public. Anyway, show your name. We know that you're watching. And you're watching from North Rhine-Westphalia in Dortmund. Thank you very much in the north of Germany. Afua, my name. Our Fridays, the Friday bonds. Afua Vena. Thank you so much. The commemoration of Dr. Amos Wilson. Let me see here. The commemoration of Dr. Amos Wilson is on the 14th of January. 30 years since his transition, his blueprint, his book, Blueprint for Black Power, is the template for us. Cooperative economics is included in his book. You have to tell us more, Efwa, okay? Thank you very much. We're going to set it on our calendar, January 14th. And yeah, we talk about that powerful legacy. Thank you so very much. And Benjamin, again, thank you. Shaka, thank you. Thank you. And I'm laughing because there are a lot of things going on in the background and people texting me to like, yes, I'm here, I'm seeing you, I'm knowing anything, but please, I don't want to show my face here. That's why I'm laughing. Oh, CD Oliver Kapamba, please bring your project on the platform. Mr. Oliver, that's the representative or the president or the coordinator of the PLO Lumumba Foundation in the Zambia. But not only that, he has big initiatives that he's putting on the ground. He's doing capacity building. He's doing community building. He's also doing the main force that is uniting us, volunteering. He's teaching on volunteering. That's also one thing that really I could do seminars about it, because everything, the spirit of Africans is volunteering, sharing, what we call sharing, okay? And yes, Sidi Kapanga, please make sure you put in your project into the network of our cooperative so we begin to, future you out here. And who again is here that I missed on? Our brother Jan Joseph, we already, pour out the showers of blessings and the love and light for celebrating you today, brother. That's the founder, and his initiative is the Buffalo Soldiers in Antigua Barbuda. And I told you he was at the festival in Germany in 2023, and he's looking forward to 2025 to represent the movement there. I told you that we all need your initiatives in Europe, in Germany in particular, because it backs us up and give us more experiences when we do the Umoja conference, that we share perspective and connect to you. Remember, we are networking, we're connecting our communities together. So when we're doing these projects, it's actually the main purpose is for us to connect. If Brother Jan did not appear on Twitter, we have been seeing each other, but when he came to Tübingen, he's the same person as you see like this. Sometimes we think we change. We don't. As we see ourselves in our pictures and stuff, and we think that, you meet somebody like I met Mama Bello, she's the same, just even more beautiful. And so this personal, physical connection, and she tapped a lot of energy, gave me money, gave me spiritual gift, gave me every single thing that I need to know, gave me some powerful things. Powerful things. Powerful things. You want to get it? Join the network, okay? Yeah. So, Wow. I think we have been so many out here. So yes, please register your network, register your group, register your community with us. Law number one, greetings to the family. Law number one, I don't know whether it's one or law one. Law one is how you represent yourself here. So yes, we also recognize and salute you. And we know that you're a member of this family, even though you are not showing off your face. Sister Liz, I have to always put up your picture. You say, awesome job. Beautiful sister. We love you. Thank you so very much. FY again, FY again, FY again. FY, you've been, my goodness, you actually have been putting a lot out here. And then we have the G Star. G Star. Going to Africa is the way forward. You can see how the UK economy is collapsing and others why the African revolution is evolving. Happy Kwanzaa to you, G Star. Happy Kwanzaa, Dr. Georgia, Youngblood Bay. Okay. Young, thank you for our flowers. You are Addis. I told you the meaning of Addis Ababa, new flower, the new flower of Africa. That's the meaning of Addis Ababa. So most of you that are already pregnant now, or you are anticipating to get pregnant, and most of you will be giving birth to twins somehow, or even not, please make sure you give the names of your children. Addis Ababa is the new flower. Okay. Mm-hmm. I told my sons, please, if you'll be bringing up some seats in this house soon, they're gonna be Addis Ababa. Okay. Yeah. Okay. G Star again. And thank you. Please show up your face and greet the family here. We want to salute you. We want to recognize you. We want to greet our new members and also to remind you that on Pan African Daily TV, you can sign up for a YouTube membership program. You can also donate through our PayPal, but of course, we're coming up with the platform where actually your membership would really matters right there. Normally, we should have been doing the Project Soup directly from the page, and because we're going to link that page to different platforms so that we can begin to put our money where our mouth is. Okay. All right. Okay. STC. Jamal Javez. When you Jamal Mokolo. Jamal Chavez. Maya Chavez is saying good night. Thank you. Thank you, Maya. Thank you. I didn't see you. Thank you for showing up your face and good night to you, my beloved. And then we have Jamal Mokolo. Jamal Mokolo. Mokolo sounds, this is a local market in Yaoundé. The Mokolo market. I hope you're greeting from there, or it's just a synonym. We represent all over the world. So Jamal, thank you. Yes, Mama Bello is leaving us. We are all leaving each other. I just wanted to reach out back and celebrate us and thank you for all those that have been here. And please help us. Yes, 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 yes. Happy Kwanzaa again. Tomorrow we're gonna get our guest Ron Spears on the fifth day, and the principle is near, which is purpose. Okay, which is purpose. The brother from Detroit is going to come have a conversation as normal and empower us again on the principle number 5, which is Nia, which is purpose. Okay. So thank you so very much. Good night to all of you. Go on and do the celebration in your different communities. Like I said, the whole social media, the whole platforms is just about celebrating Kwanzaa. I've never seen that. 2024 is the biggest celebration of Kwanzaa worldwide. Even people that never knew about Kwanzaa, they are all into it. That's the African celebration, ending the year, a 7 days celebration on principles that connect us, empower us, and open up the doors for us to approach 2025 with no fear or favor. So we're taking our communities to the highest level, to the next vibration. Okay. So join our network and let's do this together and shine for Africa. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Good night. And again, bye-bye. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.